This is the Camp Master podcast, and we are on episode 10. This is this is Achak. I call him Achak. Normally, people call you Arslan, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
People who aren't my friends call me Arslan.
So
People who are my friends,
they call you Achak,
they call me Achak.
or they call you Hackerman.
Or they call me Hackerman.
I think only Huxley calls you Hackerman.
Or some other huge list of nicknames which I can't even remember. I think I've had a lot of nicknames since grade 7. The golden year. Grade 7.
Grade 7. मेरी भी grade 7 में से नहीं मेरी grade 6 बहुत अच्छी थी 7 भी अच्छी
मेरी 6 भी बड़ी अच्छी थी.
Yeah. मुझे एक बात बता when how long has it been since you've been watching anime?
Speaking of grades and anime, I guess it was in grade 8 that I bought my first CD. CDs होती थी उस ज़माने में.
VCDs होती थी.
नहीं तब तक आ गई थी. Like when I was in grade 8,
Yeah.
तब तक DVDs आ गई थी. You sometimes forget के you're quite
Old? I'm old school.
Yeah,
What are you trying to say that
if you've been following our podcast, this guy is like Generation Y. So he's older than me.
That's a very nice.
And I'm Generation Z. So by the time I was in grade 8, we had DVDs, and the first DVD I ever bought of an anime was Naruto. लेकिन उससे पहले मुझे exposure थोड़ा सा मिल गया था in the anime world. I remember the first time I ever saw क्या कहते हैं an anime sequence was of this anime called Slam Dunk. ये basketball के ऊपर थी.
There was a basketball anime.
There was a basketball. There have been many basketball animes. Like I know only 2 at the moment, but I am pretty sure there are more than 2.
Japanese people play basketball.
Yeah, why not? They play basketball. Yeah. They do play basketball, but point is that they make animes on all sorts of topics. So I think I got exposed to the Slam Dunk sequence in around like when I was in grade 3.
You started off with Slam Dunk? What about those?
I didn't start off with Slam Dunk. I didn't start. I heard Bini. I just saw this ad on TV, and I was a kid, and I was like, it looks like a cartoon. Now, imagine me as a 3rd grader, bacha. Animated type loves मुझे बड़े आते नहीं थे. So I was like, it looks like a cartoon, but it's different than a cartoon.
It feels different. It looks.
It feels different in a lot of ways. I can't explain it, but it looks different.
And you liked that style.
And I did like the style क्योंकि वो बड़ा aggressive scene था, बड़ा कोई वो dunk मार रहा था, as the name suggests, slam dunk.
Yeah.
He was dunking, and I was like,
Different dunks.
I think I'm gonna like this form factor.
You liked the art style.
And then I tried to search for it as a 3rd grader, जिसके पास internet भी नहीं था उस time.
How were you searching for it? Like VHS?
No, I was searching through it on the TV. Going through channels. Hey, I was a 3rd grader. Like I had limited resources. I had limited ways of finding stuff out. So I had the TV. By the way, I was pretty good with the TV. मैंने कुछ ऐसे Listen to me.
What is that supposed to mean?
Listen to me.
I was pretty good with the TV. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Wait. बहुत जल्दी reaction show की. So I was good with the TV. How? क्योंकि वो उस ज़माने में डिश एंटेनास होते थे और मैं कोई क्रेजी किस्म की ट्यूनिंग करता था टीवी पे. मैं कोई हिडन सिग्नल्स ढूंढता था चैनल्स के. कोई बंगाली शो.
The equivalent of dark web, which is now, you were in the dark TV basically. You were trying to access illegal.
No, I wasn't trying to access illegal content. I wasn't trying to do
television.
That. But I was definitely like. I was really confident about my TV searching skills. तो मैंने कहा यार ये Slam Dunk की ये कोई अच्छा मुझे नाम भी नहीं पता था by the way. I just saw the sequence. I didn't even know the name. क्योंकि वो कोई apparently कोई Japanese में नाम उन्होंने बोला या उन्होंने I think English में बोला था. I just didn't catch it at that time.
Yeah.
So I just knew that there's this something which is really different from the rest of these animated cartoons that I've watched on Cartoon Network and everything. And I just need to find it. मैं ढूंढता रहा मुझे नहीं मिला.
तो पता मेरा first experience क्या था with anime? I was in Lahore with my cousin and he brought this VHS. मैं तो और भी old school जा रहा हूँ. I'm talking about VHS. He brought this VHS जिस पे लिखा हुआ था Street Fighter 2. अच्छा मैं obviously I saw the different. Me and him used to watch we normal cartoons आपके Bugs Bunny and shit like that, Tom and Jerry and bullshit. उसके बाद कार्टून नेटवर्क भी शायद नया लाइक उसका एक्सपोजर हमें मिला नहीं था. ऑब्वियसली कार्टून नेटवर्क हम देख भी नहीं सकते थे क्योंकि था भी नहीं हमारे पास केबल शेबल नहीं था. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट लाइक 1993. 94.
Oh.
Yeah.
Generation Y people.
Yeah, way back.
तो
वो
exposed to anime way back.
हाँ, मुझे वो Street Fighter 2 का VHS का डब्बा लेके आया था, obviously with the film in it, and we started watching it, and I remember कि that was my first exposure to a different style of cartoons basically. And I
उस ज़माने में उसे cartoon तस्वीर कर
because मैं उसको obviously because it was
you were like
animated.
a 5-year-old, I think 6-year-old at that time.
But I did realize the difference even then. Okay, there's something different about what I'm watching right now compared to the Bugs Bunny Disney bullshit. Obviously Disney bullshit भी like I loved it, but I loved Disney. तो ये जब मैं देख रहा था तो मुझे अनीक और मैं like साथ देख रहे थे and we were like यार we got into it so hard कि हम लोग we started searching for other shit which was similar in art style and stuff. तो we bought VHS for like उसकी थी एक थी Guyver series थी, then there was like Evangelion something which वो तो खैर बाद में शायद आई थी, लेकिन उससे पहले there were other like mecha based
उस ज़माने में mecha
crazy scene था.
Gundam पता नहीं क्या नाम था. Gundam की तो पता नहीं कितनी
yeah full crazy old school.
But the point is कि तुम at that age had a very similar experience to what I had. कि like you saw this thing. मैंने तो चलो literally ad देखा था ना. I saw the damn thing for like 20 seconds, 15 seconds. You actually saw the movie.
I saw the movie.
Point is, you recognized the fact कि यार ये बड़ी कोई different चीज़ है.
Yeah, and it's a really good movie by the way. Street Fighter 2.
Oh, Street Fighter 2 is amazing.
It's made by Japanese artists.
By the way, Slam Dunk का वो sequence देखने के बाद और वो epiphany जब मुझे हुई उसके बाद मेरा भी एक cousin है तुम्हारा दोस्त.
Jibby.
Yeah. Name dropping Jibby over here.
I doubt he's watching this though.
Oh, he is. Jibby, if you're watching, I love you, man.
He's watching behind the scenes.
So he had this. Actually, he also had a VHS tape, if I remember correctly. At that time.
Jibby's my age, by the way.
He's your age. He's Generation Y too. I gotta stop saying the generation thing.
Yeah, it's making me feel like shit, by the way.
I'm sorry. Kind of. I'm sorry. Anyway. So he had this VHS tape and उसमें Street Fighter 2 थी, and the moment I saw Street Fighter 2, I was like, hold the phone. Street Fighter 2 तो game है. Are you pulling my leg?
What is this shit?
Are you pulling my leg? Then he was like, no, dude.
Get out of town.
Yeah, seriously. And then I was like, अच्छा मुझे दिखाओ. And then I saw Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn man, this looks so similar to that one thing of that slam dunk thing which I didn't even know the name of even at that time when I saw Street Fighter 2, and I was like, ये वही art style है. And I just love it. और फिर हमने Street Fighter 2 देखी, उसकी story भी बड़ी अच्छी थी क्योंकि मैंने तो game भी खेली थी, तो I was really into all the characters as well. By the way, Street Fighter 2 की अगर आपने game ना भी खेली हो ना, तो it's an amazing.
That's the thing. We had played the game also.
You had played.
So I recognized the characters in the. That's why I was so interested in this. These are Zangief, Blanca, Ryu, Ken, and all these folks. You know.
By the way, Zangief, Blanca, Balrog.
Yeah.
तकरीबन सारे characters की I feel बड़ी अच्छी representation थी.
Oh, next level they are.
Like.
Dude, the opening sequence of Ryu and Sagat. In the movie, that's probably one of the most iconic anime fight sequences I've ever seen, and मेरी blast हो गई थी वो देख के बचपन में, because I was there, and I rewatched that stuff I think a million times during that time.
Dude, that sequence was
one of the
amazing.
best. वो सी उसको calculate कर रहे होते हैं उसकी like वो
strengths and all that.
नहीं
एक robot
Bison
होता है. Bison होता है.
Bison is like looking into it, you know.
Bison is watching the fight and he's like, I want to find the perfect warrior. Power level जिसका सबसे ज़्यादा हो वो मैं लूँगा.
Only
उसकी
people
power मैं
who watched this thing can relate to this, I guess. Like,
oh, I'm sure a lot of people have watched Street Fighter 2, man.
Dude, मेरा इसका when I was in school, तो मैं जब अब school पे like I'm going towards the 95, 97, नहीं 90 2000s में आ जाओ 2001. So वहाँ पे when I met some other people, so I got exposed to this other Japanese anime called Ghost in the Shell and Akira. Akira actually पहले आई थी. It was, you know, Akira is inspired by Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, because Blade Runner came first with the cyberpunk concept. So Akira was inspired by the environment of cyberpunk, but obviously the story is completely original, whatever they made. Magar the idea
original and mind-boggling.
Yeah, Neo Tokyo and all these different concepts came from Blade Runner essentially.
By the way, Ghost in the Shell inspired The Matrix.
Yeah, it did. Ghost in the Shell came a bit later on.
Ghost in the Shell came in like I think 99.
Yeah, but it's later than Akira.
हाँ, it's later than Akira.
Definitely.
Definitely.
तब तक वो cyberpunk genre जो था ना was expanding.
Yeah, वो तो आप उनकी एनिमेशन स्टाइल्स भी देख लो तो अकीरा का थोड़ा सा आपको डेटेड लगता है compared to
From the late 80s till like mid 90s या even late 90s आपका cyberpunk genre and science fiction itself, like even including Star Wars and all these different things, आपका ये exposure to sci-fi, cyberpunk, steampunk, क्योंकि उस वक्त Mad Max भी आ गई थी Mel Gibson की and all these different things. So a combination of all these different genres was inspiring a lot of people in different countries, especially in Japan. Okay, they were coming up with concepts like mecha and all these different things, and then relating them to Japanese culture. So a lot of that was happening during that time period. Or usme, again, like Ghost in the Shell was revolutionary, Akira was revolutionary, because nobody had ever envisioned a concept which was futuristic, dystopian.
So I think one of the reasons you say Ghost in the Shell was revolutionary and Akira was revolutionary was because it came at a time when something which is being produced in one country can easily travel to some other country, and they were so good कि वो अपने area में तो famous हुए ही हुए,
लेकिन
वो
West as well.
America it was well received in the West. Everybody loved it.
English and everything.
They dubbed it in English. There are still die-hard fans of that thing, like to the point that you've heard about Ghost in the Shell, Akira, you've watched it as well. I've watched it as well. If I'm being honest, मैंने Akira तो खैर बहुत देर
Imagine अगर पाकिस्तान तक वो exposure आ गया था तो how much exposure would have been in the States at the time.
Oh yeah.
They would have been crazy after that shit. Like उनको graphic novels उनके पास थे उसके, and they had other stuff, and we only had obviously VHS or CDs and DVDs.
वो भी पता नहीं कहाँ से smuggle
करके और shit prints में होती थी. या कभी बार अच्छा मिल गया तो बहुत आला. Torrents वगैरह का तो concept 90s में उस समय था नहीं obviously. Dial-up net था हमारे पास.
90s में तो internet.
Dial-up net था. Pictures देख लेते थे हम लोग उसकी की ज़्यादा. ये भी अभी bootleg होती थी, I think VHS and all that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, उसके बाद I remember once the cyberpunk phase was happening in anime, आपका cowboy.
Did you get into the? I'm sorry for interrupting. Did you get into the mecha thing of anime
for a while,
in the 90s?
For a while, but I wasn't into mecha at the time. I was more into environment-based anime, जिसमें dystopian futures, sci-fi, or something. But mecha itself,
like, बिल्कुल एक world building.
Yeah, robotics mostly, but not mecha itself. Like जिस तरह तू Gundam बता रहा था, and other obviously Guyver is also mecha.
Guyver I've heard about, never seen it.
It's a very huge,
some people are not gonna like it
series.
कि ये बंदा क्यों बातें कर रहा है anime के बारे में when he's not seen Guyver. Like, oh my god.
Not exceptionally good, but it's one of the iconic mecha.
Exactly. And hey, I know Gundam, so
Gundam is obviously very very famous.
Gundam
तो उसका जो नहीं that was Voltron, sorry. Voltron आया था Ready Player One में. नहीं Voltron आया, हाँ Voltron आया था. नहीं Gundam भी आया. Gundam आया था. I'm guessing. It's one of the two. It's either Voltron or it's Gundam. जो Ready Player One में एक fight sequence आता है Godzilla के साथ.
I haven't seen Ready Player
One. Oh shit. Anyway, if you guys remember, to do comment on that. So you were saying कि mecha. I wasn't into mecha at the time because I felt more connected to environment-based या more जिसे कह सकते हो कि more intimate storylines, not full-blown action, because I always watched anime for the stories apparently. Like मेरा हमेशा से connection ज़्यादा उस वजह से रहा था. Like Ghost in the Shell is an amazing story. Akira is a very disturbingly well-written story, and Gundam is probably not the best written story, but it's
not really.
It's like popcorn anime, you know.
It's popcorn anime. Yeah. It's kind of like your typical shonen anime. Yeah. And now, what is shonen? Shonen is the kind of it's a genre of anime and manga which is more suited towards young boys, young teenagers, young people, basically. School kids, meaning like youngsters. You could be in your early 20s and still be a shonen. Yeah. Actually, hell, you could be in your freaking 40s and still watch a shonen.
I'm pretty sure there are people in 40s watching shonen anime.
You'd be amazed कि कितने लोग अब anime देखते हैं. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. You were more into the world building thing.
Yeah, world building.
By the way, fun fact. In the 90s and 80s and fairly early 2000s, कह लो. It was only anime which could expose you to something like Ghost in the Shell, Akira, dystopian future, totally mecha neo future. Why? Because there is some dude who's drawing all that with his hand.
Instead of heavy budget Hollywood films.
Instead of some heavy budget Hollywood film जिसमें props चाहिए हो, जिसमें CGI चाहिए हो, बड़ा next level का जो उस ज़माने में exist करता भी नहीं था. Like it was a dude with a pencil and some colors.
So they could go wild with the environments and the storylines and everything.
Your imagination
The
is your
imagination
playground.
was like crazy.
Your imagination is the limit to what you can produce.
I feel they also had better writers at the time. Like aapka, even if you look at games which are coming from Japanese origins, for example, Metal Gear Solid was written by Kojima, who's Japanese.
Metal Gear Solid, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy series.
All these writers, like essentially they are writers because they're coming up with a story. The Metal Gear Solid series was written by Kojima, then produced by him eventually, because he was the architect behind the concept and everything. ये जो writers थे ना, I'm focusing on the writers bit because they were coming up with completely novel ideas at the time. आप imagine करो कि you have every kind of genre available to you, and anything that you make is either linked with something that has been done before, or either it's a variation of that particular thing. If I'm saying कि अभी जैसे Cyberpunk 2077 आ रही है, so it is in your face Cyberpunk, exactly that. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा स्टोरी को थोड़ा सा बेहतर कर देंगे या डिफरेंट अप कर देंगे, चेंज अप कर देंगे जो भी. बट एट द टाइम, लाइक व्हेन दीस कोजिमा एंड ऑल दीस डिफरेंट पीपल वर कमिंग विद एस्पियोनाज गेम्स, एस्पियोनाज स्टोरी लाइन्स, एनिमेज व्हिच हैड अमेजिंगली क्रेजी एनवायरनमेंट्स. स्टूडियो गिबली की बात कर ले, जैसे गिबली आई थिंक व्हाटएवर
Ghibli, I think.
व्हाट्स द एग्जैक्ट प्रोनाउंसिएशन.
Ghibli.
Yeah, even like Studio Ghibli का जो था concept, like they created a style of anime which was not exactly manga, but it was a very unique style of anime. I don't know if you call that anime, by the way.
What?
Studio Ghibli की जो art style.
Oh no, that's anime, dude. Anime.
That is anime.
Anime की definition is basically like anime is basically Japanese art form of animation. And one of the key things usually which you find in it is के like drawings pretty well defined होंगी. हाथ जो हैं, they will have 5 fingers. कार्टून नेटवर्क पे आप जो कार्टून्स देखते हो उसमें कभी नोटिस करना 5 fingers वाला कैरेक्टर कभी नजर नहीं आएगा आपको.
Really?
That, by the way, that's also one of the things which I instantly noticed when I was back in like the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, ये चीज़ बहुत different है.
Yeah.
Just by the fact how the guy is holding the ball and dribbling it. This is something different.
Yeah.
And you're going back to your point of like amazing stories and these storytellers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys were storytellers. They were amazing storytellers. Anime has come up with some of the best stories out there. बेशक वो किसी भी genre की हो, romance की हो, comedy की हो, कोई futuristic environment हो, dystopian era हो, neo future something. I am pretty sure I'm missing a lot of genres right now, but they've done almost everything in all the genres.
Yeah.
Sports ki animes, dude. Sports ki animes.
I think
if you just want to watch some casual anime, sports dekh lo. The fact that these storytellers had these amazing stories to tell, and they also had a medium which gave them like full autonomy to draw anything and show anything to the viewer. That really helped bring anime.
Like here's the thing, like if you see American animation at the time, जिसमें I'll go really deep into this because if there are people who did watch American animation at the time, there was obviously Disney at the time.
Which time are you
I'm talking about the 90s, late 90s, early 90s, mid 90s. उसमें हो ये रहा था कि there was if you know about Land Before Time, for example.
I've heard about it.
So Land Before Time was directed by Steven Spielberg. And this is an animation back in the day, very emotional animation about dinosaurs and everything, and it has a very unique art style which also then it translated into another series which was done with Don Bluth and Steven Spielberg, which is the Fievel Goes West and the Fievel story, American Western story. इसका नाम मुझे exact भूल गया. It was about a mouse which travels from a certain area to the States and all these different things. So these were independent studio-based animations which were being made in the US. And amazing, like Kamal, very detailed. They had a very different style from the Disney animations at the time. Disney animations were more for everybody. These were for everybody, but it was also for people who appreciated very micro-detailed art form-based cartoons. So, उस ज़माने में हो ये रहा था कि there you had the quality of animation itself had gone like super up. ठीक है, आपका the US market में they were competing with ideas from Japan because Japan में जो animations अब आ रही थी they were of very superior quality, superior storyline. So they were also coming up with ideas at the time just to compete with that kind of market. Eventually, of course, it translated into CGI, the Toy Story, which came in I think early 90s मेरे ख्याल नहीं
Early 90s
early
में
90s में आई थी
Yeah,
1995 के बाद आई थी I
Dude,
remember
Toy Story actually came in early 90s.
97 I think
नहीं 97 भी नहीं आई.
नहीं Windows 95 के बाद आई थी वो
Are you sure?
Yeah.
मुझे तो लग रहा है it came in like 93, 94.
96 97 में आई थी it was late 90s
I feel like googling it right now. Can I Google it?
you can Google it but
I'm gonna Google it.
लेकिन the point was कि CGI then started to वो बिल्कुल I think that was the first feature animation CGI film which came up. Again, anime ने अपना style change नहीं किया. Anime was still anime. And anime काफ़ी बाद में जाके got into CGI.
Toy Story 1995.
Told you man. 1995 में Windows आई थी मुझे उससे याद है. तो
So mid 90s.
mid 90s.
Which is still amazing for the time.
If you compared
when I saw Toy Story, it blew my mind in a different way. I was like, I've seen Cartoon Network cartoons.
Yes.
I know of this thing called anime because of Street Fighter 2 and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this is different now.
Yeah. तो पता है even Cartoon Network at the time I'm talking about 2000s late 90s mid 90s 2000s the quality of animation and cartoon series on Cartoon Network was incredibly high. You had SWAT Cats, you had Johnny Quest, you had very amazing characters and animations at the time.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter's Laboratory
पहला वाला season, not the 2000s
बाद में
वो फारिग था.
But yeah, there were many different. फिर आपका Hanna Barbera के आपके बड़े cartoons थे वो Dastardly Devil वाला. Then there was Mutt something I don't know exactly.
Yeah, point is उनकी production value काफी high थी.
Back in the day.
लेकिन still man, anime was still more. It just felt more polished because it kind of simulated real world things क्योंकि they would draw
hyper realism. लेकिन hyper realism
नहीं था exactly.
वो
कुछ एनिमेज में कभी बार दिखाते थे लेकिन पॉइंट इज कि वो जब कोई कैरेक्टर ड्रॉ करते थे ना इट वाज एन एक्चुअल ह्यूमन फिगर नोज ईयर्स 5 fingers
eyes were pretty big always
eyes वो खैर अब डिपेंड करता था sometimes they would do it pretty big sometimes वो normal human features रखते थे वो तो अब आपके आर्ट स्टाइल पे वो थोड़ी सी वेरिएशंस तो
स्टूडियोज का भी था
पॉइंट इज कि एक्चुअल एक ह्यूमन फिगर बनाते थे वो कार्टून नेटवर्क पे जो कार्टून्स थे
they were more exaggerated caricature based
abstract
based
कह लो whatever जो भी दिल आपका चाह रहा है उस तरह का बना दो डेक्स्टर्स लैबोरेटरी देख लो यार इतना टिड्डा सा कोई वो बॉय था उसकी टांगें और टॉर्सो और मुंह कहाँ से शुरू होता था पता ही नहीं चलता था
they were also
they were fun don't get me wrong they were
but
fun
they invoke different feelings no
they do invoke different feelings but I also do feel के जो कार्टून नेटवर्क पे कार्टून्स थे ना they were way more targeted towards actual kids on the other hand you have anime which is
a larger demographic
way larger demographic way
larger demographic also and also the fact कि
dude कुछ anime
I don't even think they gave a shit about the kids
dude कुछ anime ऐसी हैं कि they will scare the living crap out of you
very disturbing
you can't show it to people under 18
yes
there
gore
are some
and violence and everything.
gore and violence तो चलो है ही है gore and violence
storyline is very disturbing
उसका horror itself is very disturbing like I've seen grown ass men scared shaking in their boots while watching it point is कि like anime is such a huge कह लो spectrum जिसको वो cover करता है लाइक आजकल की एनिमेज तो चलो अब थोड़ी टाइपकास्ट हो रही हैं लेकिन जिस ज़माने में तुमने बात शुरू की है 90s they covered a lot of stuff man a lot of stuff Studio Ghibli came out with some really awesome hits
I think it really pushed the limit
तुमने वो I think देखी हुई है 5 centimeters per second that was hyper realism
very
that was hyper realism and उसके विजुअल्स बड़े कमाल थे
Garden of Words I think वो भी बड़ी अच्छी थी
Garden of Words
probably one of the best beautifully animated animes I've ever seen story wise as well like
that has got to be the most beautifully animated anime
it's just a beautiful film to watch if you haven't seen अगर आपने anime अगर start नहीं किया and if you want to actually learn more and learn तो नहीं if you want to get into anime if you want something to hook you I think Garden of Words is something जो एक layman या lay person के लिए is a very huge hook, because once you see it, you can't like unsee it. You're like, yeah, I want more of this.
True, but at the same time, I feel Garden of Words is kind of an outlier as well.
That's what I'm trying to outlier लाया.
क्योंकि वो इतने आला विजुअल्स हैं उसमें.
That's why
वो देखने के बाद आप दूसरी एनिमेज ढूंढना चाहोगे उस जैसी, आपको उस जैसी थोड़ी बहुत मिल जाएंगी, लेकिन एकदम खत्म हो जाएगी.
That's what I'm trying. यार आप वो देख लो ना, ताकि you just start craving stuff like that. Otherwise, अगर मैं कोई normal animation दे दूँ ना, तो like, oh नहीं यार.
If you just want to watch animation which is like well designed, well articulated, नहीं, articulated नहीं होगा.
Well made,
well drawn. Basically well drawn. If it's well drawn, you can just look at कौन सी यार ये recent आई थी 2 साल पहले. Kimi no Nawa. इसका इंग्लिश में क्या था?
No name something. I don't know.
What's your name? Kimi no Nawa. मेरी जापानीज भी वापस आ गई. Damn, I just remembered some of my Japanese. Kimi no Nawa.
जापानीज वापस आ गई.
Kimi no you Nawa name. Kimi no Nawa.
Yeah.
What's your name? तो that was a really
beautiful anime.
It was beautiful anime. उसकी स्टोरी भी बड़ी अच्छी थी.
Yeah, I might watch it again.
There's a reason वो इतनी हिट हुई थी, dude. वो actual cinemas में play हो रही थी. I think US में भी हो रही थी और जापान में तो हुई है. जापान में तो definitely हुई है.
Yeah.
And it gained a lot of popularity. By the way, तुम्हें पता है?
It's the highest grossing anime of all time, by the way.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it is.
But what I do know is कि जब वो इतनी ज़्यादा चल रही थी ना anime, and it was famous and everyone was talking about it. तो उसका director कहता है कि I wish I had a couple of more months to work on it because there are some things which I don't like about my anime. And then I was like, dude, that is like legit kisam ka work ethic. Perfectionism in your art. That's some legit stuff right there. And by the way, this statement of his is indicative of being very perfectionist in your work. It's also indicative of
how passionate
he was about his work.
Yeah.
It's also indicative of how difficult this industry is as well.
Yeah.
Like long hours, money. अब मुझे नहीं सही तरीके से पता figure wise, but what I've heard is कि जो creators हैं, like not everyone gets like a lot of cash. It's like any other business.
That's actually we were discussing pehle bhi, like you said ke the anime industry, the dark story behind the anime industry is actually very interesting. Like you were saying something about that.
Yeah, like it's difficult work, and people who are making these very happy and fun animes are not exactly happy and fun themselves.
Yeah.
It's a tough industry to be in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition in Japan especially. A lot of deadlines which need to be met.
Yeah.
People are working their ass off. They're depressed as well. Recently I read an article as well जिसमें exact यही बात उन्होंने की थी कि there's a lot of depression in the anime industry. People who actually make those animes. I'm talking about the artists and the voice actors and whatnot. There's a lot of competition among those people as well. And I mean, it's
just a very hard industry.
It's a very weird kind of a scenario. Yeah. Like on one side, you get to see the work that they are creating, which is sometimes very fun and lively, and sometimes very serious and grueling and whatnot.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, like काम बहुत मुश्किल है. Like these people don't have like salary jobs. By the way, they don't have salary jobs. ये स्टूडियो गिबली भी जो है इवन
प्रोजेक्ट बेसिस पे करता है.
ये प्रोजेक्ट बेसिस पे लोगों से काम कराता है. इट हैज़ कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स एंड एवरी टाइम अ न्यू प्रोजेक्ट कम्स अप. प्रोजेक्ट से मेरा मतलब है अ न्यू एनिमे नीड्स टू बी मेड. दे हायर अ डायरेक्टर. द डायरेक्टर देन brings his own guys.
अच्छा वो टीम
people he knows in the industry, people he knows कि अच्छा ये वाला बंदा इस किस्म का काम करेगा and it is in line with my vision. तो he handpicks that person. And he brings them in on a contractual basis, and then they do work on it. Studio Ghibli अपनी animes बनाता है in house, उसने बनाई भी हैं, लेकिन even then वो कुछ थी. Not all of its animes are in house. Majority of them are through contractors. And by the way, that's the norm. That's the norm in the industry. They don't have like a studio. जिस तरह Mad House एक बड़ा crazy studio है वहाँ पे, उसकी बहुत आला animation होती है. I think I'm remembering the name right. Madhouse ही था.
Yeah.
तो उसकी बहुत fluid animation होती है, dude. उसके action sequences तो कमाल होते हैं. Anyway, even they don't really have a lot of in-house animators or creators.
So like I was telling you about the Netflix thing, कि Netflix ने अभी what they're doing now is because of the Disney streaming service coming up. They've now come up with the idea कि यार हमारा a lot of the content is going to be going out of Netflix because of copyrights and everything. And apparently, like of course, like Disney now owns 20th Century Fox, a lot of other subsidiary companies that go along with it. A lot of the movies being made by these different studios are now actually controlled by Disney. They own Lucasfilms as well. Star Wars वाला भी पूरा franchise पकड़ लिया, and of course their own Marvel franchise and everything. So it's going to be a massive streaming service जो ये launch कर रहे हैं. And what Netflix is doing as a precaution या as a जैसे कहते हैं reactionary thing, वो ये कर रहे हैं कि they have you might have noticed कि in the past year or so a lot of animes have popped up on Netflix, and they're increasing the library eyesight. So what happened is that Netflix started giving contracts to small scale, medium scale and large scale studios in Japan, anime studios, कि you guys just start creating this stuff, we're going to give you the money, we're going to give you the funding, and आप लोग just start ठका लगाना शुरू कर दो, like start making animes which are Netflix owned, right? And so that we have a library of content. So because they feel that there's a huge demographic that is tapped via anime, तो वो एनिमे में थोड़ी सी हल्का सा मोनोपोलाइज करके वो कंटेंट अपने पास लिए हैं, सो दैट दे कैन केटर टू स्टिल अ वेरी ह्यूज सेगमेंट instead of just losing everybody.
And the point is that they're also doing this through contractors.
And वहाँ पे तेरी वाली बात आती है कि then they handpick people.
अगर वो खुद contractors को नहीं approach करे, they're telling these
studios
to do it.
And then they're handpicking,
And then how do the studios do it? Handpicking.
Exactly.
अच्छा, one thing I would like to say is that Netflix has been doing their own content thing for a long time now, and I would say that kudos to the CEO. Like 4 or 5 years ago, this guy saw this kind of a situation coming. I guess now that you look back on it in hindsight, it doesn't look like rocket science. Anyone can come up with their own streaming service. And some huge corporation like Disney, who owns, like some say, half the media in the world. The point is they own a lot of media in the world.
In India.
So if they come up with their own streaming service, so that's like a huge ton of media just going out of Netflix. This guy saw it coming, and that's why he started creating his own. Netflix started creating their own content, and they've come up with some really huge hits as well, both in live action stuff,
series.
One of those is Stranger Things, and in anime as well. I remember watching one anime on Netflix. It was created by Netflix as well. It was Violet Evergarden. It was a nice story. 12 episodes. It's not for everyone. Trust me.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. But
it is a good anime.
If you're into
well-made
anime, then you're gonna like it. And then there was this other one, the Children of the Elephant. या पता नहीं क्या नाम था. That was also not for everyone. Like for everyone. Even me being an avid anime watcher, मुझे भी थोड़ा सा था कि अच्छा यार, I mean it's okay and it's good time pass. But point is कि they also create their content of anime, and they created it ताकि वो different markets को capture करें, like you said, through studios or contractors. Now what's the problem with being a contractor is that sometimes you get a job and sometimes you don't. When you have a job, like I said, it's a very grueling industry. It's very deadline oriented. Perfectionism चाहिए होता है. It's a tough place to work in, man. So when you have a job, it's a tough job, and when you don't have a job, that's just
and
bad.
Keeping in mind the external factors as well, the Japanese culture as a whole, which I've recently read upon. Okay, मुझे पता था Japanese culture के बारे में, but recently a lot of reports came out where, do you know that Japanese has one of the highest suicide rates?
Japanese
people का मैं कहना चाहता हाँ, Japan has one of the highest suicide rates, and also the fact कि they have this certain name or word for people who are overworked. And there's a woman who did this documentary in Japan, जिसमें she starts going around taking pictures and documenting this scene कि लोग वहाँ पे subways के आसपास सोए में with their briefcases on the side, and they're just like lying down सोए में, and they've been deaths related to overwork as well in Japan, reported deaths. So
by the way, they deny a lot of that.
They of course deny. ये तो Japan को नाम तो नहीं बदनाम करेंगे अपना. And also the fact that there is a population lapse which is happening in Japan. The older population is a lot more in number compared to the younger generation. That is because of the societal changes, which are okay, they don't believe in marriage that much and they're living alone a lot. Usme women are also more career oriented. That's also related to the fact that the economy in Japan is such that it's very expensive to live in Japan.
I don't think the fact that women are more career oriented is that great.
Even men are very career oriented.
Point is, the whole society is very career oriented. That's
very
because
hardworking
after
society.
the whole World War II thing,
rebuilding.
Japan was in shambles, man. They had to rebuild the whole damn country.
They had a national philosophy, by the way, that we will overwork the fuck out of each other and just like build
and they had to
everything
do
up.
that in order to get to where they are right now. By the way, 90s में Japan had one of the most greatest booming economies out there. अब वो थोड़ी stagnate कर रही है, लेकिन वो stagnate इस तरीके से नहीं अभी भी कर रही कि वो bad scene है उनका बहुत.
नहीं, it's bad scene तो नहीं है.
Like if they owe a lot of money to IMF या whatever, then a lot of countries owe them money as well, by the way.
Yeah.
So when you add it all up, they're pretty much in the plus zone. Point is कि उनकी जो तुम कह रहे थे ना कि population की age बहुत बढ़ी है. It's an aging population.
Yeah,
that's how they usually put it. It's an aging population.
It is.
So one of the reasons for that is definitely the fact that they're working a lot. They're working to the point कि उनकी एक national philosophy है. And they had to make that national philosophy in order to get themselves out of the trench they were in after World War II.
And it's sustained even till today. Like that's how they're built now. That's ingrained into their DNA.
Japanese culture में जो young लोग होते हैं, when they get out of high school, their aim is to get into an awesome university. And
which is very hard to do, I suppose,
which
in
is
Japan.
really hard to do. Like the competition is really massive. It's huge. And after getting into a good university, उनके दिमाग में उनका जो career path होता है ना, वो यही होता है कि get into a good university and then get into a big corporation. And once you're in a big corporation, keep working there, become a salary man. I think उसको वो Japanese में salary man कहते हैं salary man.
Salary man
is something like that. हाँ, I think तुम बेहतर कह रहे हो. तुम बेहतर.
Salary man.
Which basically means salary man. So I mean, and this is a कह लो career progression philosophy, which like most of the Japanese people share. हमारे यहाँ तो philosophy थोड़ी सी different है. हमारा होता है कि अच्छा चलो यूनिवर्सिटी में घुसना चाहते हैं, हम अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी में घुसना चाहते हैं, चलो अच्छी सी जॉब भी मिल जाए हमें, बड़ी अच्छी बात है. लेकिन वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल जो कहते हैं नहीं, वी वांट टू डू आवर ओन थिंग, हम एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप करना चाहते हैं. कुछ लोग
now more than ever actually. Now is like the very जैसे कहते हैं ना, people are brimming with ideas and like ये करते हैं.
True.
Okay, also
by the way, animes are great and all, but some of the sad ones are really sad, man.
Grave of the Firefly, this type की जो कुछ बड़ी पुरानी है.
Like I've watched a few of them and man were they sad. I don't even want to remember them.
You look sad just talking about them.
Oh, I just remembered some of those feelings. Feels, man. वो feels आते हैं वो देख के.
Just remembered how it felt.
Oh my god. Seriously. So point is,
dude, मुझे एक बात बता, what's the Korean anime scene? By the way, like for the people who don't know this, anime is not limited to just Japan, by the way.
It started from Japan.
Japan,
it's not
but
limited.
Now it's like a more international thing.
So उसकी modern definition of आजकल is more like it's a certain type of art form.
Yes.
If you are similar to that art form,
then you
it's
are.
anime.
Speaking of
By the
similar,
way, Chinese came up with an anime.
Chinese
so,
anime, it's really shit.
Koreans have come out with animes as well.
Which is also
I would
shit.
say Koreans are ahead of the Chinese. Why? Why you ask? Where do anime come from? They come from, well, original stories भी होती हैं. But आजकल जो आपको ज़्यादातर mainstream animes में नज़र आ रहा है वो ये है कि first the manga comes out. What is a manga? It's like a comic book. ठीक है. But it's a very different art form. Once again, comic book is very colorful and very artistic. A manga is artistic in its own way, but it's black and white. So जापान में तो ये बहुत प्रेवलेंट है. ठीक है, देयर इज अ मांगा, उसमें स्टोरी हुई, अगर मांगा चल गई तो फिर उन्होंने एनिमे बना दी उसकी. अगर वो ये नहीं फॉलो होता प्रोसीजर, तो एक और प्रोसीजर है जो फॉलो होता है. दे कम विद लाइट नॉवेल्स, स्मॉल नॉवेल्स, एंड इफ दैट लाइट नॉवेल becomes a hit, they make a manga out of it, then they make an anime out of it. तीसरा तरीका ये है कि you come with an original story and you make an anime out of it. So why do I say Koreans are ahead of the Chinese? That's because Koreans do have a manga-like structure in their country. Usko, I think
they're very heavily influenced by Japan as well because they were invaded by Japan.
Well, I don't know. Well, of course, like
I'm more of a Korean expert here, so I'm gonna chime in a little bit.
Yeah, well, you can chime in all you want, but you know, I'm the real anime.
नहीं मैं anime की नहीं बात कर रहा मैं
So
Korean culture.
They have a manga over there as well, which is called manhwa.
Yeah.
MANHWA. Manhwa. I guess that's the pronunciation. Yeah. So there is that comic book structure there as well. Yeah. And वो वहाँ पे जो चीज़ ज़्यादा चल जाती है वो फिर उसकी एनिमे बना देते हैं. I think one of the recent manhwas जो बड़ी famous हुई हैं. I look at the computer पे आप पढ़ सकते हो.
मैंने बंद कर दिया.
Yeah. Anyway, जो एक recent manhwa आई थी that was Noblesse. It's about a vampire, and we all love vampires. So yeah, it became famous, and then they came out with an anime for it as well.
Yeah.
जो Chinese वाली anime जो मैं बता रहा हूँ, that was a completely original story of theirs. And that reminds me, I would like to watch it as well.
यहाँ पे मेरा थोड़ा सा ज़रा प्योरिस्ट सीन आ जाता है कि नहीं मैं अगर एनिमे होगी तो जापानी ही देखेगा भाई और किसी और शहर की नहीं देखेगा किसी और मुल्क की नहीं देखेगा. बट या खैर
प्योरिस्ट
इंटॉलरेंट नहीं इंटॉलरेंट
पोटैटो
पोटैटो वाला सीन है थोड़ा सा. एनीवे खैर रैपिंग अप द पॉडकास्ट.
Wait. I didn't get to tell my life story of anime, man. Grade 8, man. Circle back to when I was in grade 8.
Grade 8 story.
Naruto, Kamal thi, turned out really bad.
I always thought it was shit.
Turned out really bad towards the really end.
Yeah.
Khair, you're not a typical shonen
I don't
anime
appreciate
watcher.
shonen.
Yeah, it's okay. It's understandable. जिस तरीके से तुमने describe किया था ना कि मुझे world building, Ghost in a Shell.
Deeper.
I love Ghost in a Shell and Akira too, by the way. But I'm also into the typical shonen stuff. But I'm not an otaku. What's an otaku?
Yeah, do explain that, by the way.
And here you were about to wrap it up.
मुझे पता है तू बड़ा बताना चाह रहा है कि क्या है exactly.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I don't want to tell it.
Why do you want to like label not yourself?
I'm not labeling myself. I'm trying to take the label off of me. By the way, otaku is a guy who is totally into anime. Anime is his life. उसके कमरे में आप जाओ, wallpapers लगे हुए हैं different animes के. He dresses up like
the psychotic level.
Cosplay भी करेगा, dress up भी करेगा. He's not gonna care about a lot of the other worldly things. He's just into anime. He loves that stuff.
I've also read about people who've married anime characters in public in Japan.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And also the high school culture wala jo scene hai na, high school girls who are used in anime for anime fan service and everything. So obviously there's a dark side to the anime world as well. If you go, it's like a rabbit hole. The deeper you go, you're going to find something which is not going to be very pleasing. But if you refrain from that and just watch the animes which we've named here, if you can remember them, I'll also like list a few down in the description. So you can start off with that and you'll be happy. You won't be creeped out.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan is I'm not a fan of Attack on Titan, but I appreciate what they've done with it. It is good though.
जब Attack on Titan निकला था, that was like called the Game of Thrones of the anime world.
And अभी recently वो जो live adaptations बनाना शुरू हो गए ना animes की, which is a
by the way, most of those failed.
Yeah, a lot of them failed because they're shit.
I mean, yeah, they're not good.
They're not good.
Plus यार एक adaptation उसकी already हुई है in an art form which people love.
Yeah.
And it's executed to perfection. Why are you trying to create a live action movie out of it so people can compare that to the anime? Why would you do that?
And then screw it up in the process, and you screw up the original feelings for the original anime as well.
Even if you don't screw it up and you watch,
they screwed up Death Note, by the way.
They screwed up Death Note. Bleach fail हो गई थी.
Bleach भी काफी bad.
Full Metal Alchemist fail हो गई थी.
That's pretty shit.
Attack on Titan fail हो गई थी.
That's pretty shit.
By the way, watch Attack on Titan.
The anime.
Full Metal Alchemist. The anime.
The animes.
The animes. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
And if you're into rom-coms, तो Toradora आप देख लो.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
That's a really nice.
That's a good one. Kimi no Nawa ज़रूर देखो.
Kimi no Nawa.
Garden of Words ज़रूर देखो.
Kimi no Nawa.
Kimi no Nawa.
Garden of Words ज़रूर देखो. Then
5 centimeters wali bhi wo. That's
5 centimeters per second.
I actually really liked it. Like I really liked it. बहुत अच्छी है.
If you're the kind of person जो easily depressed हो जाता है, don't watch that.
If you're prone to.
If you're really sensitive to sad moments and stuff, don't do that.
Don't do that.
बहुत ज़्यादा sad नहीं है, but still, anyway. Ghost in the Shell.
Akira. बाकी कुछ सीरीज भी हैं. हाँ, you should watch Castlevania. Castlevania भी is anime-ish, I guess.
हाँ, it's like American anime.
It's American anime, yeah. It's not pure anime.
It's nice.
It's nice.
I'll admit it, it's nice.
Yeah.
और क्या था यार? There's
a long list.
There's a long list, and there's.
But these are just to get you started, you know.
Yeah, and if you're beginning, look at all the genres. Slice of life भी देख लो, shonen देख लो, shoujo देख लो, horror वाली इनकी animes हैं वो try कर लो.
Yeah.
But जो list हमने बताई है, that's a nice one to start.
It's a nice one to start with.
Yeah.
Okay, wrapping up the podcast. It was nice having you.
As always, man.
We went really deep into the anime rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
And well, we touched certain deep parts of it. We didn't go full deep. We didn't talk about hentai. So again, मैं क्योंकि बच्चे या कोई जो कोई भी लोग देख रहे हैं, I don't want them to like. I don't want them to like search the wrong keywords.
I have a feeling YouTube might just ban you for this.
Yeah, why would they ban me? It's a very popular thing.
I think we're gonna have to talk next about why YouTube is banning people in the next podcast. Look out for episode 11.
Episode 11
of the Camp Master podcast.
Like, share, subscribe.
Hit the bell icon.
Hit the bell icon.
So you can get the latest Camp Master podcast directly in your email.
मैं एक और चीज़ कहना चाहता हूँ. I'm going to be starting solo podcast as well, which is going to be called Camp Master Therapy. This is a variation of the podcast. It's going to be shorter format podcast, which I'm going to do, which is going to be just me and my microphone.
No, you're supposed to say it's going to be me and you guys.
And you guys.
I'm going to be talking directly to you.
Well, not directly to you.
And at the same time, I'll be cheating on Hackerman with myself.
I was afraid you're going to say that. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm also going to be putting this on the Anchor FM, the audio file for this. I don't know if Pakistan mein Anchor FM has caught up or anything, but anyway, it's going to be an audio file which is going to be on Anchor FM. If you're in the car, you can listen to it.
Exactly. If you want to consume the Camp Master podcast via audio, we will give you that facility.
You will have that facility in your pocket, in your phone. Anyway, so take care. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. एंड पे मेरा वो वाला जोन आना शुरू हो जाता है ना जिसमें
तुम्हें हार्वी स्पेक्टर वाले सीन be a closer man.
But I'm like just a little bit more. Just a little bit. नहीं fit है चलो. All right, thank you. Take care.